Welcome to Learning Math with Mr. Tan. Today we'll be looking at how to convert angles in degrees to radians, as well as how to convert angles in radians to degrees. This is not meant to be a video on the conceptual background of this concept. This is going to be a video that focuses on the process of conversion. So let's start. So the first example we have is requiring us to convert 75 degrees to radians. So we're going to be starting from 180 degrees equals pi radians. So I write rad for short. Now, you have a choice to actually use 360 degrees equals to 2 pi radians. I think it's fine. So this is just a personal choice, all right? So it's my personal preference to do it this way. So feel free to use that as well. So what you need to do using either way of remembering it is to drop the 180 degrees or the 360 degrees to 1 degree, all right? In order to do that for this instance, all right, is to actually divide both sides by 180. Okay, so let me just annotate so that it's clearer for us. All right, and on the right hand side, what I will have is pi over 180 radian. All right, next I will raise this 1 degree to 75 degrees, and this is just done by multiplying 75 on both sides. Okay, so on the right hand side, what I will have when I take this pi over 180 radian times 75 is 75 pi over 180. So let's find out what this is. So we have 75, right? Well, I can put in the pi first, divide by 180. And what I'm going to get is 5 over 12 pi, or 5 pi over 12. All right, so I'm going to write 5 over 12 pi. For questions where you're required to leave the answer in terms of pi, this is going to be fine. So we just put in the RAD radian there. What we need to do is to find out what this number is if the question does not require us to leave in terms of pi. So again, back to the calculator, okay? And what you need to do is to press this change button if you're on the Sharp calculator. So you press this, all right? The calculator is going to tell you it is 1.31 to 3 significant figures, okay? So it's 1.31 radians, all right? Okay, that's a little bit close, right? To 3 significant figures. Okay, so that's for the example on how to convert angles in degrees to radians. Now we'll look at how to convert angles in radians to degrees. So this time round, we're going to flip this the other way around and start from pi radian equals 180 degrees. Now in this instance, where the question wants you to convert an angle in radian to degree, whereby the angle is in terms of pi, is a little bit more straightforward. Okay, you don't need to convert it to 1 radian before you can work out what is pi over 6 radians. So what you can do is directly divide both sides by 6. So what you need to do is to divide both sides by 6. Okay, and left hand side I'm going to have pi over 6 radian equals 180 degrees divided by 6, and that's going to give us 30 degrees. So this is quite straightforward when the angle in radians for you to convert is in terms of pi. Now what happens if the angle in radians is a number 2.7? It's no longer so straightforward. We just need to go back to the method we used previously for the degree to radian situation. So you still start from pi radian equals to 180 degrees. Now what you need to do is to drop it to 1 radian. So how do I drop it to 1 radian? Is to divide pi by, well, pi itself. So let me just annotate this. You divide this, sorry, let me write that again. So you divide this by pi on left hand side, and you divide by pi on the right hand side as well, and what you have is 180 degrees divided by pi on the right hand side. Now what we need to do next is to raise this 1 to 2.7. But before I do that, let me just make a remark over here. Some teachers like to teach students to remember pi over 180 radian as a conversion factor, or 180 degrees over pi as a conversion factor. Now that's going to be faster, of course, but I personally find that that's some kind of room for confusion, so students tend to not be able to discern between these two situations under stressful environment like examination. So in situation where you are doing an exam and you're trying to, you know, recall facts and formula, this is not going to be something you want to be grappling with. So let's stick to using 180 degrees equals to pi, or 360 degrees equals to 2 pi radians. Alright, so let's continue. So 1 radian equals to 180 degrees divided by pi. What I need to do next is to raise 1 radian to 2.7 radians. Okay, so in order to do that, what I need to do is to multiply 2.7 on both sides. Okay, and 180 degrees divided by pi times 2.7. What this is going to give, I'm not going to be able to tell you offhand because pi is irrational, so that's going to be a bit tough for us. So let's use our calculator again, and I key in 180 divided by pi times 2.7. Alright, and this is going to give us 154.7 degrees. I'm going to convert this to 1 decimal place because generally exams actually require you to convert angles in degrees to 1 decimal places unless otherwise stated. So we're going to put our answer as 154.7 degrees, right, to 1 decimal place. Okay, so I hope these 3 examples help you to see how to convert angles in degrees to radians and vice versa. Okay, if my video is helping you to learn maths, do consider subscribing to my channel for more content that is going to come up in future. If this video has actually helped you in this conversion topic, which causes some problem for us, then do consider giving me a like to give me some kind of encouragement. If not, until the next time I see you, goodbye.